My fellow gamers, Battlefield 6 has just dropped, and today I'm going to get the Platinum Trophy. This game has 43 trophies spanning across both campaign and multiplayer. Is Battlefield back to its glory days, or is this game absolute trash? I did go back and forth between campaign and multiplayer, so instead of presenting the trophies in the order I got them, we will be going over the campaign first with the multiplayer trophies to follow, mainly so I'm not just jumping all over the place. Starting out with the campaign, let me just let you in on a little secret.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Okay, it's not completely horrible, but it's also not great. There's literally no build-up or backstory for any of the characters or missions, so I had no idea or feelings towards what was going on. You play as a Marine unit part of NATO taking on a privately funded military called Pax Armada. In the first cutscene, we agree to give up our military base to Pax peacefully. As I said, peacefully. Right before everything here did get bombed, I did get the most important trophy in this game for finding this dinosaur. Back to the attack, the goal here was to escape alive and destroy a bunch of data centers so Pax couldn't get their hands on them. After your standard mounted machine gun jeep ride, we regrouped in the forest and I got this trophy for collecting the first of 30 collectibles. We then make our way through a construction site, plant bombs throughout this building, and escape from the roof while the place gets blown to bits. A pretty standard level that is a common reoccurrence in every modern FPS game. Besides the fact that we got shot down and we were already making our last stand, yeah, campaign over, we died. We actually do get saved, but I can't say the same for the rest of my squad. After completing the first mission, I got 2 trophies, one for just beating it and one for completing a mission on the hardest difficulty. The campaign then jumps a year later, and yes, that is us, the only survivor of the crash. We were after this lady Mills to inform her that the Pax Armada is out to get her. Why is this lady important? I'm really not sure at this point. Even after beating the game, I don't think I could tell you. After every mission, we do have a cutscene with this lady spewing random things at me that I just didn't understand. The next mission, we were dropping in to take out Pax radar stations and anti-artillery weapons. Another standard level where you defend your squad as they push their way through enemy forces. We then fight our way to these underground tunnels, which is a World War II history museum, and I got another trophy for finding my 5th collectible. There was also a trophy for destroying 10 mannequins, and after it let me use my gun, I got that as well. After progressing through the tunnels, we get to the good stuff and started blowing up the AA guns, and I got a trophy for landing 50 headshots total. Also, if you see me with completely terrible aim or my gun just randomly aiming up in the sky, it's cause my controller has really bad stick drift and has a mind of its own. Here's a clip of me just standing still with no hands on the controller. Yes, I ordered a new one, but it's on back order, so this is my gaming life for the foreseeable future. After progressing through the rest of the level, just killing more enemies and destroying another AA gun, the mission was now over. The next mission was the Battle for Gibraltar, and right away I got this trophy for destroying 3 sea mines. I'm honestly surprised that I got this first try and didn't miss every single one. We start off fighting in this tank and eventually got out to continue pushing through the city. Honestly, nothing of importance seemed to happen here. It just kind of felt like a filler level to have enemies to shoot at. We do at one point watch our homeboy get domed, and we avenge him by killing all the enemies and retaking City Hall. The next mission was the night raid, so we can secure an informant that had intel on the Pax Armada. One of the trophies is to complete it using pistols and gadgets, which is why you will only see me using this starting pistol. We cut off the power and make our way inside this building and start clearing out the enemies. We then find our informant, who is not in the healthiest of conditions. Lucky for us, we actually don't need him alive, so we just take a pair of bolt cutters to his thumb. Shortly after stealing his thumb, I did also get a trophy for finding my 10th campaign collectible. We then fight our way out of the building and start making our way through the alleyways to reach the exfil site. I did run into the greatest glitch of all time where my one squad mate decided he was gonna fire his weapon for the rest of the mission. I seriously just want to know where he's keeping all this ammunition at. One of our squad mates then decided he was gonna challenge a sniper head on cause he's very smart. We then had to escort him to this van, which was the exfil, and the mission was complete. The next mission had us taking on the Pax HQ in Brooklyn, cause you know, somehow a privately funded military just makes its own base on US soil. We do get introduced to the main villain of this game, Kincaid, which we knew nothing about before this point. He kinda just gets name dropped for no reason at the start of this mission as some important guy, and there's also this very handsome picture of him on this whiteboard. The only notable part of this mission is we get handed a sledgehammer. What do you do when you get handed a sledgehammer? You kill 5 enemies with it and get a trophy. We then find this tablet with Kincaid just sitting on FaceTime, probably was talking to his nephew before we interrupted. He basically just called us a bunch of losers. Oh, and he said he would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. If you don't subscribe, this is what I'm gonna do to your breakfast tomorrow morning. We then make our way to the subway station and fight our way to the subway that has the launch control to send missile strikes throughout the city, and then chase it until we eventually crash and it gets away. We then make our way to the surface and fight our way to the getaway chopper so we can catch up to the subway and explode it. Just another standard day in New York City, of course. I then made my way to this train car, destroyed these computers, and stopped most of the missiles, so only a few hundred people died instead of thousands. In the next mission, right away I got this trophy for landing 5 consecutive headshots. For this level, we are trying to protect the president as Kincaid was trying to get rid of him. Why is the president in the middle of New York City during a time where it's being destroyed and taken over by PAX? I'm really not sure. What's even crazier is he's just all by himself in this fire station. We tried to escort him out of here, but the city is filled with drones that took out the only helicopter we have. We needed to take out the drone pilots, so we headed to the local park that they were operating out of, and I got this trophy here for destroying 10 vehicles. We explode the drone station and make our way out of there with another machine gun jeep, and eventually fall into a giant sinkhole, finding our way back at another subway. Once we fight our way to the surface, we have to make our way to another exfil. While doing this, I got another trophy for finding 20 collectibles. We make it to the exfil, and I guess the president has just been tagging along with us the whole time. Doesn't seem very safe, really. Anyways, while the president was leaving on a boat, we just really wanted to ride the carousel, but our good friend Kincaid had to ruin all the fun. He does get stopped by our squad mate, but Kincaid pulls out the Uno reverse card, and he's dead. For some reason, he doesn't kill us and just walks away. God, I just love video game plot armor. The next mission, we were back in Egypt for what seems like no apparent reason. This time we were starting out inside a tank. One of the first things I did was drop this bridge on an enemy tank for a trophy. Most of this level is just tank warfare, pretty much just World of Tanks Battlefield Edition. At one point, one of our helicopters gets shot down and we have to go save the crew. We make our way through the city, destroying everything in our path, and we reach the crash site and there's only one survivor. And that is literally the whole mission. It added nothing to the story. That mission was pretty bad, but the next one in the game was by far the worst mission for me personally. It was an open world level where you had to take out 3 data links in this large area. These open world levels are always lazily done and the objectives are so boring. These types of levels are prevalent in the newer Call of Duties, and I just want to fall asleep at my desk while playing them. The highlight of this level is I got to fly this drone around and I got this trophy for spotting 20 enemies with it. Eventually the level does go back to being linear and we make our way towards the final data link on the other side of this dam. Once we get there, we destroy it and get surrounded by both sides with tanks, but thankfully because of our amazing plot armor, we rappel off the side of the dam and escape in this truck unharmed. Thankfully, we were on the final mission to stop Kincaid once and for all. You are probably just as confused as I am, considering there was no build up to this moment, or towards anything in this campaign really. We start by making our way through this PAX military base. Also, one of my teammates proves to be the strongest human to ever exist by stopping this Jeep dead in its tracks and exploding it. The first few objectives, we are just fighting our way to these missile bunkers and disabling them. After disabling the first one, I did get this trophy for destroying a helicopter with a tank. We fought our way and took out the second missile, and it was finally time to kill Kincaid in this bunker. Before heading deeper inside, I had a little pep talk with the boys and I got the last collectible in the game, which came with a trophy. Once inside, we just made our way from room to room, taking out enemies along the way. We find the room Kincaid was in, and due to a predetermined location he had to be in, he just magically slid across the floor. We were gonna keep him alive because he was explaining how Mills was the one responsible for PAX and was the one funding it. And if you don't remember who that is, it's this lady we've been interrogating the entire time between missions. Our one squad mate had other plans because he decided to turn him into Swiss cheese. After escaping the bunker and exfilling for what felt like the 300th time, the campaign was now over. God, that was painful. Back at Mill's crib, we are definitely not gonna let her off the hook for creating a rogue military on US soil, so we pull a Jesse Pinkman and shoot her in the face. I had one more campaign trophy, which was to get 3 kills with 1 grenade, which I somehow didn't do the entire time. The easiest way, which I saw in a YouTube video, was to just throw a grenade at this Jeep in the first level. Okay, now the campaign is over. Alright, finally to the only reason everyone on this planet bought this game. I am proud to announce that Battlefield multiplayer is back, baby. Now, I could have been a loser and instantly started grinding trophies against bots, but this game is just too much fun to speedrun all the trophies, so for most of the time I was playing with my friends, enjoying the experience. Yes, I know, surprise, I have friends. And don't worry, I am a loser because eventually I did become a bot farmer. So for like the first 10 or so hours of playing, I only played support because one of the trophies is to get almost 2,000 revives. I hope they didn't think this would solve the crisis of no one in this game reviving teammates, because 99% of medics will just stare at you bleeding out rather than, you know, actually become a medic. The first trophy I got was a couple matches in, which was for getting 129 kills total. A very weird number, I'm not sure if this is an Easter egg for something. The next trophy I got was for getting 5 kills with the LMG without reloading. This is not a hard trophy because LMGs are very good in Battlefield and they hold a lot of ammo in a magazine, but the Call of Duty brain in me forces me to reload after every kill, so it took some focusing to get this one done. The next trophy is the funniest trophy in the game, where you have to run somebody over. This quad has the worst handling for any vehicle in a video game I have ever experienced. It actually feels like you're driving on the moon, and somehow it's also the first time you have ever used your arms. I tried running this guy over, but he shot me off the quad and the quad rolled into him, which I found hilarious. I then committed 414 acts of valor, which is this game's versions of medals. The next trophy was for reaching level 25. There was also one for reaching level 9 and level 14, but I saved them to show them all at the same time because they're self-explanatory. So after hours of playing, I wasn't even halfway done with the revives. I was getting between 20 and 40 a game, which by my calculations would take an eternity to reach 2,000. So this is where I caved in and became a bot farmer. I'm going to make up for it by showing a revive compilation against real people, so please forgive me. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, here's the trophy for getting 1,996 revives, primarily against bots. I then decided, since I was already here, I might as well go for the sniper kills I needed, as well as a bunch of other trophies. Listen, I'm not a big fan of sniping, and my controller barely works, so please just let me have this one. Since this lobby was breakthrough, I did at first get this trophy for capturing 41 sectors in this mode, and then a few matches later I got this trophy for 250 sniper headshots. Next, I then switched over to the assault class and I got 5 multi-kills, and then ran around with my pistol getting 6 headshots in one match. I then had to start a new bot server, but on the game mode rush. For this trophy, I had to arm or disarm 5 bombs in one match. It was very easy, all I did was rush the bombs as soon as they were available. I then used the rest of this time in the server performing 10 takedowns, which is just going up behind an enemy and meleeing them. This one was so close to not getting done because we only had 1 life left when I got the trophy. I then actually went back to playing living, breathing human beings for the final trophies I needed. The first one here was for dealing 2,000 damage to enemy vehicles with the C4, which was pretty easy as you just sneak up on the tanks. I was then working on the trophy for repairing enough vehicles when I got this trophy for capturing 128 flags in Conquest. The last trophy was finally here. All I had to do was repair 2042 damage to vehicles. I spent so many matches just following tanks with my blowtorch and the trophy just wasn't popping. I realized that no matter how much I repaired, the number was just stuck here the entire time. I'm pretty sure if you don't see this little XP pop up while you're repairing, it's actually not counting towards your counter. The trophy wasn't bugged in Portal, so I went there and repaired this tank at the beginning of the match for a little bit, and after this final one popped, the Platinum Trophy was now mine. To rate this trophy list, I'll probably give it a solid B tier. Some of the multiplayer trophies are grindy if you don't play against bots, but luckily the game is just fun anyway, so it's not really an issue. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.